Today we're going to talk about some of the building practices that we use here at Arthur Ruttenberg Homes. First thing I want to talk about is the exterior walls. We are using 2x6 studs. As you will notice, we have blocking at every one of the joints of OSB. That allows us to nail around the perimeter of the OSB on every piece of OSB. 2x6 walls also allow us to do the R19 bat insulation in those walls. Now, as we look, in addition, on the inside walls, we're doing still 16 inches on center on the interior walls, but they're 2x4 walls. We then have blocking midway up on the interior walls. This keeps the studs straight and helps us not have so many of the nail pops, screw pops. Our hope is we can minimize the nail and screw pops, and in order to do that, we also glue and screw all of the drywall to those walls. We're now going to go outside real quick because I want to show you some of the applications that we apply to the exterior walls. One of those applications happens to be a black liquid spray that we put out. You're seeing it up above here, but that liquid spray is applied to all of the exterior walls behind the hardy board and or stucco. That is both an air infiltration barrier and it's also a moisture barrier, which will keep any liquids, water, rain, anything that comes in contact with that cannot get through the wall. We're using that instead of the paper wraps that we see used so many times with builders. And the paper wraps are nailed on or stapled on with lots of penetrations in the wrap. The other challenges with those paper wraps has to do with the fact that they blow in the wind. Sometimes they blow off. The joints are taped. The tape sometimes sticks, sometimes it doesn't last very well or doesn't stick well in the joints. So we definitely know that this product is superior to those other products. Come back inside if we can, and we want to share with you a couple other things we're doing. All of our exterior walls, we're using a Forticell mold inhibitor. It's a 25-year mold spray that we put on the walls. It's not sprayed on these walls yet, but at the time that we do the insulation, they'll spray these walls before putting the R19 bat insulation in. The other application happens to be the borate. You see all of the green spray around all of our exterior walls. That is a termite treatment to, if the termites do happen to make it to that spray, that will kill them. And it also comes with a bond. That's a 1-year bond, renewable annually for termites. So that just gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're doing with our homes and the walls. So the other things that I want to talk about now has to do a little bit more with structure. And so as we look at the structure of the house, one of the things that we're doing is we're using a cable tie-down system. Our cable tie-down system, as you can see, takes a cable from the concrete floor all the way up through the double top plate, and it ties all of the walls back down to the floor. That cable system is engineered and designed by an engineer. And a couple of things I do like to make mention of is I am a Florida licensed general contractor and a residential building license for South Carolina. So given that fact, and given the fact I've worked a lot with the Florida Building Code and with engineers in Florida, we here in this area are in a 140 mile an hour wind zone with regard to hurricanes. And so we in this area also want to build our homes to a stringent standard and requirement, just like we did in Florida. So all that being said, our engineer designs all of the cable tie-down systems, what size they should be, and he designs how to tie down all of the rest of the roof structure. In this particular home, the roof system is a trussed roof system. Again, it's engineer designed for all of the downloads and uploads that are associated with high winds and hurricane winds. So we then, because of the cable tie downs tied on the walls, we then have at the very top, the trusses are tied to the top of the walls with hurricane clips and straps. And again, our engineer tells us what size straps to use in different locations to make sure that the whole building envelope is tied together and held back down to the slab. Some of the other things that I like to talk about have to do with the exterior envelope would be the windows. All of our windows are impact resistant windows. And building code requires to have some kind of protection for the windows. Some builders will use either a fabric panel, metal panel over those windows. In recent years, we've found that those panels can be difficult for homeowners to handle, difficult for them to install, or when the storm's on its way, they can't find anyone to install the panels. We decided to solve that problem for our customers by using impact-resistant windows in the exterior of our home. Now, with regard to sliding glass doors, those panels get really heavy if we go impact-resistant, and they're quite expensive. We will have panels on the doors which are more easily accessible and easier to put panels up, but we will have those covered as well. With regard to energy, I just wanted to spend a little bit of time. Some energy features that we want to talk about is the windows are low E windows, and that helps also with heat gain, heat loss, so that we have an energy efficient house. In addition to that, we want to talk about the envelope around the top of the house. Our whole attic system, we're using a spray foam insulation around the whole attic area. That creates us an area inside of the attic which is semi-conditioned. It stays within about 10 degrees of the rest of the house. We then put our air conditioning air handler up there in the attic. All of our ductwork you will see is run in the attic. That is in semi-conditioned space within about 10 degrees of the rest of the house. So the air conditioner does not work as hard, and that ductwork is not going to sweat and cause condensation, dripping water, different things in the attic like you would have if the attic was 100 to 120 degrees in the middle of the summer, like homes are that don't have that spray foam envelope. A couple other things that we do. We do a blower door test on all of our houses. We seal up all the exterior openings, and then we place a fan at the door that goes to the garage, and we blow air from inside of the house and push it out into the garage. As we do that, it's bringing air in from the outside. If there are any openings in the exterior walls, our energy expert is able to seal those up with foam and be able to seal the house up more tightly so it's more energy efficient. In addition to that, he's using an infrared camera, and he'll take that camera and he'll shine it up there at the attic area, and he's looking for hot spots with the infrared camera. And if there are areas that didn't get properly insulated, that can be taken care of before we ever put drywall up inside of the house. The other thing we're doing is a duct test on all of the air conditioning ducts to make sure that they're all sealed up and fastened the way that they should be. So anyway, that's a few of the items that we do, some behind the scenes, in the walls, construction practices, and it shows how we build our homes here at Arthur Ruttenberg Homes.